Hey everyone, my name is the Salty Rat. I'm your local favorite space pirate and commander of the Never Ever. And today, I'm looking at R.E.P.O. Today, I want to go ahead and look at they recently put out a new trailer, talking about their new 10 monsters they're going to be adding, and I'm excited. I want to see new monsters. I didn't heavily get into R.E.P.O. It was more like just like the quote unquote friend slop game, right? Which, by the way, I hate that title. Can we stop using the term friend slop? I want to play with my friends. Stop acting like it's a big deal. But it's a co-op horror game, obviously. If you don't know what R.E.P.O. is, you've lived under the rock for ages. But this is mostly, as much as like the new trailer is exciting, I want to talk about the fact that there's practical effects in this, right? This is a small indie dev team that they easily could have slapped in some 3D nonsense, but they use practical props, and I'm excited to see practical effects in anything. So that's like 90% of the reason why I'm making this video. I want to talk about the practical effects of this video. So let's go watch the trailer. We'll do a little bit of like a step by step, but this is the full trailer so far. Oh my god, I still got a little bit of cold, so excuse me if I'm coughing in the mic. You just have to deal with that. Thank you, semi-work. I haven't seen one of those camcorders in ages. Alright, so we got to see a little bit of that. We got to see a little bit of the cool things that we have in there. Um, I have peeped at a little bit of the update. Right, we have a feature from some of the new enemies in there. We've got the birthday boy. I think that's what they're calling it. I forgot what the big guy that claps his hands down. I think it's called the loom. I think they're calling it the loom. I've not seen a whole lot past this. I know there's Big Gamba. We have a monster. There's Big Gamba, and that is exciting. I love Big Gamba. You all should know I love Big Gamba, but we'll have to get into that a bit. So let's actually go through the trailer a little bit. Question. I've got an important question for everybody. If you're Scandinavian or you're in those like northern regions, do you just have access to ancient places like this? Like, is that something? People who are from that area, can you please tell me whether or not this is just normal, where you just have access to bunkers? Because do you have to rent them out? Is there a surplus of bunkers you can just visit? I don't know any. I'm an American. I don't know anything about this. So what is that? Skillyman? Skillyman? Nice, nasty floor. We got the nasty flashlight. We got a switch. Steal that. There's our boy. There's our beautiful man. I think this part is using the puppet. that they show off a lot in their like update videos and such. I don't know whether or not the eyes are CGI, but I've got a feeling these guys are handy enough to go ahead and do the entire puppet thing. I think those eyes are probably controlled by little fingies. Honestly, it'd probably be like a kind of thing. I don't know the details of that. But yeah, I haven't seen one of these types of camcorders in ages. The tiny little, like, flip open camcorders. Like, that's an old model. At least it feels like an old model. We got the balloon from the birthday boy. The entire shtick with the birthday boy last I'm checking, like if I'm tracking correctly, is that the birthday boy spawns these balloons as he walks around. And if you pop one, he comes to investigate, and then he beats the living hell out of you. If you pop one. If he finds you. So I like a good, like, sneak mechanic. Something other than, if monster sees you, you die. Very creepy. Very creepy. It looks... I'm fairly certain. I am fairly certain this is a little bit CGI. Right? But it looks like claymation. Semi-work, I would like to see the background of this. I'd like to see the in-progress stuff. That is just a puppet. Who did you get to do this? That's creepy, and I like that. And of course, we saw the little puppet there. I wanna talk about the puppet just a little bit because I love him. I love him. I love every time that I see this little like puppet in any of their work. I get so excited about the little puppet. He is little man. I wish I could have. Can we buy one of those? Hey, semi-work. Can I get one of those? Is that merch? Can I get merch? And here's the loom. And I have no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt in my mind that this is just a big, stupid mask. And I love big, stupid masks. Like, there's no reason for this to be CGI. Because it's just a big, stupid mask and big, stupid hands. Give him a little bam. That's all you need, just a bam. And turn him off. I'm gonna give you no context for any of this, because I don't know anything about the valuables or the maps or the upgrades that are come out because I'm not paying attention to that. I just want to talk about the CGI. I'm not the CGI. I want to talk about the practical effects. It's a good gag. It's just a good gag. That's a really good gag. I love that. I'm such a huge fan. All right. So that's pretty much the entire trailer. There was some... I'm not going to get into in-depth because I'm not an expert. I'm just an enthusiast. I love this stuff, right? The entire fact that... I want to ask, if Semi-Work watches this video and they can answer some questions, I'd love to go and actually know. But, how much of that was actual, like, practical effects? Because it looks I'm very certain that, like, most of this is just hands-on practical effects. I grew up watching a lot of, like, the old, like, YouTube horror stuff. I grew up, that was my middle school, I hung out, I got excited about practical effects when I was a little kid, right? And, seeing, like, that we get this, you know, it's obviously it's a bigger budget because these guys have made billions of dollars, I'm assuming, right? But we get to see a whole lot more about like the monsters and like these guys are obviously creatives. They're more than happy to go and get down and dirty. We got to see some dude go into like some sort of old Scandinavian bunker, which by the way, where is that? That's cool. I'd like to know where that is. Where do you get a giant door in the forest, gamer? Oh, okay. So that's it. That's all I got. That's my little rant. I wanted to talk about that today, and that's where I'm getting it. It was a little bit rambly, but you're welcome. I'm here to go ahead and produce slop, and I love it here. I'll probably be playing R.E.P.O on stream. I'm gonna be real. I'm excited about that. Anyway, that was me. That was my little talk about that. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do more because I just want to see more of that. I'm as usual. I'm a salty rat. If you liked what you saw, go and give a comment, a like, subscribe, all that nonsense. We'll see you a little bit later on in the evening. Um, Probably tomorrow. We got more videos to come out tomorrow. Maybe we'll even stream. Who knows? Maybe we'll actually produce more content. I'm not in charge of that. You certainly aren't. But remember, on the Never Ever, what's theirs is ours, and what's yours is mine. We'll see you next time.